Happy Tuesday, folks. Happy week. Welcome to Toy Grinds Live and Grindhead Jim, and here we are to hang out. Apologies for the day lateness of this show. It was something that was affecting me personally that I just could not get around, so I had to cancel both my appearance on Monday as well as with Largo's Lair, and I really appreciate his flexibility in allowing me to reschedule. So, just as with what was planned last night, immediately following the stream within a few minutes, we're going to meet up over at Largo's Lair for an episode of Infinite Playlist featuring me. So I hope you'll stick around for all of that. I'm pretty darned excited to do that. So before we hop into anything here in terms of the subject matter or anything else for that, beyond that, we're going to check up on chat and see how y'all are doing. So I do see Largo's Lair, Ian Sweeney, Johnny Sorensen, and Boba Hicks, and Bill Wifta, and Gojatron, and Nolan, and Jason Garcia, Wilhelm Toy and Hobby, who says, grind, 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 grind. Yes, yes. And Giraffe, and I think that's pretty much everybody. Yes, yes, yes. That is not actually the case, Wilhelm, but you're not that far off. Jason Garcia asks, was it the poops? I bet it was the poops. No, if it was the poops, I would have made a joke out of that with the announcement. Like, I'm shitting myself. Actually, I had a really, really bad bout of PTSD trigger. Some pretty bad panic hit me for the better part of Sunday and almost all of Monday. It wasn't until maybe 2 a.m. This morning where I actually felt like I could get some sleep. And I thought I'd be able to do the show, but I know myself from experience, if I'm even somewhat in that headspace, sitting in one place with lights on me, not a good look. So, was not the poops. I really wish it had been. Would have been much easier. Yes, it was Paula's birthday yesterday or the day before. I don't know because the last few days really warped together. But happy birthday, Paula, regardless. And yes, thank you, Will. I'm glad I'm feeling better too. So we're okay over here. We're all fine now. Thank you. How are you? I don't have any reactor leaks. Yeah, the thing is with panic attacks in general, and you may not know this, if you go into forms of malnourishment, low blood sugar, or dehydration, they can trigger them. Like the physical aspects of them, and then your brain feeds into the thing, and it's a whole, no fun. No fun. But glad to be here, so. I already did wish her a happy birthday, but for the super chat, I'll do it again. Happy birthday to you. I don't go any further because copyright claim is a thing, and I don't want to bug it. I love you, Paula. I hope you had a great day. Yep, all those things at once. Yeah, it'll do that. So, like, if I'm feeling even remotely off my game at all, I just start chugging water like it's crazy going out of style. The amount of liquid that I took in the last 36, well, now 48 hours, because I was just like, I'm gonna beat this, you know. So I'm all right, and I'm glad that other folks are doing good. And now the thing shows up. I don't know why it does that. I'm gonna actually let those be not muted anymore. High quality H2O. That's right. That's right. Now, if you look behind me, I'm going to show you something. Keep your eyes peeled, just above my hat. I have begun the process of installing lights on the shelves.
Yeah, boy!
I don't know why it was so late, but there it was. Uh, but the lights, started doing that, and we got through the second strip only to realize that that strip didn't work. I just didn't test them as I put them up, and my friend who had come over to help, he had somewhere to be, so I had to stop there. I got a replacement coming, and I bought a replacement, so I'll have an extra strip just sitting around. But yeah, the lights have started to appear. As you can see, they make a big difference in how the shelves look, just in the sake that you're eliminating lots of shadow. So for those that maybe didn't catch it, I'll show it again. Let me show you with, and again, it's just this one strip here. This strip doesn't work, and then these ones aren't installed yet. So it's just this shelf here. So I turn them off, and you got shadows all over the place. You can't tell what's on there that well. I think that makes a huge difference, especially for the price of like $18. It covers all 5 shelves and then some. So there you go. Well, I still appreciate it, sir. Really appreciate it. Let there be grind lights. And you can control them with Alexa, which I like in my case. Alexa, turn off toy shelves. Just going to wait a second because I'm using so much internet. She's probably not going to do it. She's a jerk. Alexa, turn off toy shelves. Nope. Internet's been screwy lately. So that's why. But I got a switch right here that I can do it with. No big deal. And there's a physical switch too for you haters. So pretty nice, and you can turn them into any color that you want. They can even do the rainbow stuff and all that. I don't need any of that. I just need a good, solid white light that looks good on camera and to my face. So when I get the other strips installed, I'm going to be a very happy guy. So all good stuff. All good stuff. Base, how low can you go? Death row, what a brother knows. That's right. Jones are in the house. What's up, buddy? All right, Garcia, you take care, man. Bright light. Oh, my favorite line of the film, actually. You see a Superman figure, Dark Knight Returns wave. You are correct. That is the Superman figure that you see. That was a desperation purchase. I am waiting on a DC Universe Superman that just got announced for pre-order a couple of weeks back. I really like the body sculpt on this, the head not so much. So when the new one comes, I'm going to decide which body sculpt I like better, stick the head on there, Bob's your uncle. It was also it was a low price, it was like $12. So, just been kind of feeling my way through DC Multiverse lately. Disobedient, yes. Unreliable when using almost all of your internet connection to stream, more so. Thank you, Joneser. I appreciate that, man. We're at that point where, I've pretty much exhausted most of my space. And the fact is, when we put the lights in, you'll notice, well, you may not notice this, but this shelf, like these 4 shelves here, so like this one, that one, and that one especially, but also that one. Like basically these 6 shelves, really, like on this side, are total facades. What you see is what you get. So it's not full of figures. So it's been something where I'm at that point where I need to start filling those shelves because I have stuff that I have to unbox that's waiting for me, and some stuff you guys may be expecting, some stuff you guys might not be expecting. And I got other stuff to unbox, and you guys know the drill. So I'm really getting to that point where it's time to get the loose stuff out and take these out of packages and stuff. Oh yeah, there's definitely room, buddy. Now, when I get all my depackaged toys out, maybe not. Ian Sweet says, I think McFarlane Superman so far is probably the best action, probably the Action Comics on 1000. But I go for any and all Superman figures once I dip low enough energy price range. There you go. So the Batman Hush from Mafex, that was my first in this scale range. Still my favorite. I believe the Superman I'm waiting for is the McFarlane version of the Hush Superman. So I think between the two, I'm going to kit bash something that's really special. Really special. So, as many of you know, we have kind of abandoned the pre-orders and pre-order only portion of this show. For the simple fact that, one, the pre-order market's been really volatile or trickled lately. And we just talk about a few things, and then we hop into a topic, because I think the topics are more important. So, like right now, the only thing that I have to talk about pre-order-wise is that I saw today a bunch of Transformers went up for pre-order, and among them is a combo pack for Menasor. And I had all but abandoned the idea of getting those particular Transformers because of the fact that they'd spread it out so far that getting them all at a retail price was next to impossible. Now they put all 5 of them up on Hasbro Pulse in the old school style, multi-pack, and it's cheaper than retail for all the different figures. Right? Because the Motormaster by himself was like $70-$80 if I recall, maybe $65-$70, and the whole thing is $189. You've got a total of 5 guys in there. It's not a bad price. That's even with tax for me. That's still averaging $20 per character. It's a really good price. I give Hasbro credit for that. And I did pre-order it, and I'll decide later if I really want to go down that road. But, look, man, to get them in a combiner pack at a price below what I would have paid for each individual figure, it's really not a big ask. So I'm going down that road. Also, for those of you that may not have caught it, mini comic version of Manny Faces went up for pre-order over on Big Bad Toy Store and Amazon today. Only major difference with him is the paint deco. I believe his face is more or less the same, but the paint is more flesh tone than orange, which I much prefer to the orange version that we've had in the vintage line for years. So, really excited for that. The other thing that you may have heard tell of was Mattel Creations doing a Fangor figure, which is coming out a week from today. And it comes in the collector-friendly bubble packaging, so you can just take the card right out of the bubble, and the character can pop in and out of that at will, which honestly, all of their Mattel Creations should have been packaged that way. And I hope that moving forward, all of the Mattel Creations Motu stuff is packaged that way. It makes too much sense, especially when you have a nice collector box to keep it all in. I don't see the point of not doing that. Think how much they'll save on glue. But he looks like a great figure, and the only concern that I really have at this point is that availability factor that we talked about last week with the future of Motu Origins that Boba Hicks so graciously guested on. If they can manage to make Mattel Creations a more functional way to get these figures, then I don't really see a huge issue with them being on Mattel Creations. My only other gripe is the shipping costs, and then that's like, well, okay, so we will see. Now, you guys know every time they have a Mattel Creations come out, I usually have something to say. So look for a quick commentary video on that as soon as that comes out, because we'll see exactly what's going on. I'm going to take a second, catch up with you guys before I hop into this discussion. Jones just won an eBay bid on a complete set of vintage Dick Tracy. Nice! The fun part is it wasn't that overpriced, I bet. Probably was just right where it should be. Bum, 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 bum. Daniel Carhoonan in the house says hi. I say hi right back. Good to see you. Bull says, come on, Jim. Just show us an overpriced statue. Just one, please. Just one statue? I'll think about it. Ian Sweetie picked up a second TVC Navarro Cantina for under 28 pounds. Nice. Go to Tron. Jim, ordering Transformers? How did that happen? It's your fault. It's your fault. Ordered a bunch of core stuff today, too. Even a double of the first one you gave me. That's how it happened. The faces are different? Okay. Monster face most notably on Manny faces. Okay, cool. So I'm still really stoked for him. So, be very, very cool. Very, very cool. Boba Hicks says, Fangor me, Bangor. I agree, Joneser. And you probably know that if you saw the video. I think made-to-order pre-order is the best way for them to handle this. It protects them as a business, and it protects us as collectors. No one loses in that scenario. I think that's the best way to go, and I hope that they continue to do that. But we'll see. We'll see. I completely understand why that makes you nervous, Giraffe. I really do. With the whole Mossman debacle, he's arguably harder to find than Duplico has been. And yes, I have a Duplico up there. I got lucky with a Walmart sighting, and I do have another on the way. Mossman, I hope, will be easier. I hope we'll be able to find him. However, with that price point, he's confirmed at $40. 40 US American dollars for a Beastman repaint that has armor, which are repainted, and flocking. So you mean to tell me that Mossman's flocking takes his retail price from $15 to $40? Now, he does have the extra head like Lords of Power Beastman, and it too is flocked. So we'll say he's a deluxe figure by itself, just based on that alone, right? You still expect me to believe that you can double his price because of the flocking? Battlecat and Panther were $25 each at original retail price. Flocked Panther was $40, so he raised by $15. The implication being that it costs $15 to flock that big of a figure. How is Mossman, with less space on his body to flock, a larger markup? I don't understand. Aside from greed or sheer stupidity, I cannot justify that. Am I still going to get one? Of course I'm still going to get one. Under duress and extreme piss-offedness. It's dumb. It's dumb. Badger is excited to see what's coming to Target Walmart. Now they're clearing aisles for a restock. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing some new Playmates Turtles on the shelf, so I can start filling out some gaps of things that are needing to come up, namely the single pack April, single pack Foot Soldier becoming more available, Baxter, that sort of thing. I didn't forget the fresh piney scent. I don't know if he actually has that scent or not. Yeah, exactly. He's the same price that Flocked Panther is for half the size of the figure. I don't buy it. I mean, I will buy it. You know what I mean? So, Jones is saying the pine smell is what really did it in the cost. Okay. Alright. Okay. Turtles have been a pain to find, Joneser. There's some cool 4-packs you can get on Amazon. But in the case of, like, say, April, for example, unless you really want the gecko and 2 comic style turtles in cartoon coloring, you're not getting that character. And Splinter, fucking forget it. I can't get a hold of Splinter for love nor money unless I want to pay aftermarket prices, which seems stupid to me. So dumb. So dumb. Johnny Sword says, if you have a troop of Mossmen, you can say, get the flock out of here. Fact. Didn't think to look on. Yeah, I found Splinter as well, but they're charging like $25-$30 for him. If you found him at regular retail price, DM me that link in Instagram and let me know that you did it so I can bring it up for everybody else, because on Amazon I can only find him at aftermarket prices. That guy should be $15 tops. But I appreciate you. That's cool, but don't be a menace to society. Like, I agree. I got you. Thank you, Saul. I appreciate that. So, classified, you're putting that down. Putting down the plastic guns for the real ones? I get you. I get you. Oh, you found him in store. Sweet. Yes. Like finding a splinter in a haystack. You're right. Splinter, and then April, who has not technically come out in the main line. And I am looking for at least one more foot soldier, maybe 2. I'd like to have 2. I have a Leatherface coming. I'd like a Rat King when he comes out, and a Baxter Stockman. Right now, that's about everything that I think I'm looking for with Turtles. Unless we get neutrinos. Because I have the Bratz vehicle, which is like an old classic kind of car. And because we can get those for under $40 pretty easily, if I can find some neutrinos, I might just do a full repaint and make a neutrino car. I don't know yet. We'll see. Salt says, sold 8 out of the collection in the culling this year. Already saw some silly crap you want. Yeah, I know. Once it starts, right? Bill would have just bought Black Manta on the big auction site. Why don't you wait? He just came out. We can find him. Donor says, I have no foot soldiers, need Baxter and Rat King. Baxter you should be able to find now. Rat King is coming out in the next wave. Foot soldiers, I believe, are also for some places. I think this next refresh is where we're going to see most, if not all of those. April is in a 4-pack. That's exclusive to Amazon currently, but she's supposed to be getting single card, according to cross-sell on the newer figures. And no Casey, to my knowledge, has been announced. Once they do put him out, I will get him. For sure. I agree. I had a Casey, an original Casey when I was a kid. Absolutely loved that figure. I thought it was great, and they need to make one. For certain. And Bill blames Gojatron for his Black Manta purchase. I mean, I get it. Trust me. Trust me. There's some things I've told my patrons is coming for reviews. There are some things coming I haven't told anybody. And there's some of the things that are coming for me to do videos about. You guys are going to go, what? He actually did that? Yes. Yes, I did that. So it's gonna be fun. And that kind of brings me to the main subject of the show, okay? As the title suggests, I've been collecting toys for just over 2 years. I believe the exact date is July 17th, give or take a day. It was the second day of Iconicon. Just before midnight, I purchased 2 Superpowers collection figures from Reclaimers Vintage. I bought a Lex Luthor and a Steppenwolf. And because that's what he had, the price was right. I said, I gotta get these. So I waited for them to arrive, and while I was waiting, I realized, I have a Stan Lee Marvel Legends already, and Firestar had just gone up, had just become available for order, not pre-order. And I saw the background of the box, it being Spider-Man as an amazing friend, and I said, I gotta get that. So I did. So I got me Firestar, and I just kind of started looking around. And I'd been eyeballing the Motu Origins line pretty hardcore. And mind you, this was July of 2021. So the line had been out, Wave 1 and Wave 2, and it had been out. So you were still in the early part of that toy line to see if it had legs. And even the Evil Bay prices, if you will, were comparative to Rare Figures pricing for Motu Origins now relatively reasonable. So I was able to get everything pretty quick. And I really did not see this coming, guys. I did not see this coming. Not in the way that it is manifested, that's for sure. Oof. Johnny Jordan says, Baxter and the Foot are in that Rotocast combo pack on clearance in many places. I don't think we have those 4 packs at retail. I think they're online exclusives. But get a picture when you see it. Bill says, I've been collecting much longer and I still do the same stupid crap. Fair enough. Brick Something's here. Says, hi, Jim. Been a minute so I can watch it live. Good to see you. Hey, good to see you too. Appreciate you, Brick. I'm glad you're here. Payne's Toy Samples is also here. Says, evening, everybody. Okay. Oh, you are saying it's online? Okay. Okay. So, when I first started collecting, the idea was I'm going to get good representations of all my favorite characters, from each toy line, and kind of call it quits. That was kind of the idea. I was going to get Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, a couple ancillary characters like Jameson, which I got, Venom, Carnage, which I have, and then go over to, say, I wanted some Star Wars stuff, but I really wasn't sure where to start. I know that I wanted some Indiana Jones stuff, but they weren't making any at the time. I knew that Motu was a new toy line, and I said, okay, I'm going to get a couple of these and see how I feel about them, and if the bug bites, I'm just going to buy the whole line, which, of course, has been the main focus of what I've been doing. I was not certain about the G.I. Joe stuff. I was definitely not getting Transformers because I didn't like the pricing I was seeing. And most vintage stuff just wasn't tickling my fancy, as we like to say. But Superpowers, I was all in. I was snatching stuff up left and right. And that was like where most of my frivolous money went to, was Superpower stuff. And I just went ham. I went nuts. And if I knew then what I know now, probably would have gotten a few more things a little bit faster if I could have. And I'm not talking necessarily about Series 3. I'm talking about some replacements for figures that I got that needed replacing. For example, I have a Martian Manhunter that won't stand up on his own. And Bjorn Jorgensen happened to find one. And he's like, hey, this one stands up. Do you want it? I'm like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. So, it's, the prices for those have gone way up. They're starting to come back down a little bit, thank goodness. But I'm glad that I have what I have, with Superpowers especially. But looking at some of the stuff out there, it's like, whew, it's kind of crazy. Oh yeah, I bet you were giggling at my naivete the whole time. That's for sure. And certainly at how I didn't foresee this big of a collection, right? What I try to explain to people, to Lauren to a certain degree, and friends that don't collect, there's stuff waiting at the box that amounts to about 2 weeks worth of stuff. And that would have been like a 2-month haul for me. And it's just kind of crazy how big this has gotten. Like, I can turn around and just kind of dart my eyes to any part of any shelf and just kind of go, like I got the Ghostbusters firehouse up there with all the Ghostbusters. I never thought I was actually going to end up with those, but here I am. I've got them, and I'm really happy. Looking forward to finishing that video when it comes out, Vintage G.I. Joe, I've been fighting that one the hardest. Bill's like, nope, here, Insta collection. Boom. Even though I was creeping in that direction, he really pushed me over the edge. Never would have, But But again, if I knew then what I know now, there are certain things I would have cherry picked. You know, if I could tell the future, right? Um, there's a couple things here that are like I would have picked them up sooner, just because of pricing or whatever. Nothing crazy specific, but one thing that comes to mind is the Ironmonger and Obadiah Stane from the Infinity Saga. I probably paid about $10 too much for that, $15 too much for that, but I'm glad I have it. You know, but the collection has such a wide range of things in it now. It's difficult to comprehend in the brain. Even as I look at it behind me, it's like, jeez. You know. Let me catch up with chat here. We'll get more into it. Ian Sweeney says, my first foray into collecting was a cheap lot of vintage Kenner Star Wars figures. Once they arrived and I unpacked them, I knew I was in trouble. Such a rush of excitement and nostalgia. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Which is why one thing that I've said, and I've been able to maintain, is that I do not want the retro collection Star Wars figures, and I do not want the actual retro Star Wars figures. Outside of Power of the Force 2, and Vintage Collection. That's, figure-wise, for the little guys, that's all I'm really getting. For the simple fact that vintage style doesn't interest me, and it is such a deep rabbit hole to go down. So, you know, the things you learn, right? And Daniel Carhoonan says, buying 50 vintage Motu figures from a local seller Kickstarter toy collecting. There you go. Johnny Sorensen says, weird. USA got 4 packs. Oz got 6 packs. Look up more options and message Joan directly. Okay, there you go. Your Invisible Jet arrived today? Well, mine's been here for a minute. It's just been hiding in the back shelf. It's in there in a box there. I haven't had a chance to open them yet. Oh, hey, it's Chad. Just got here. Awesome talk for sure. If we only knew. That's exactly what we're here for. Okay, want to make sure I didn't miss anything. So, again, I was starting super focused, and I kind of like I had ordered dinner at a restaurant, and I was really excited for the dinner that I got, but I kept looking over at other people's plates going like, man, that looks pretty good. I don't know if I have enough room for all this food, but it looks really good. And that's kind of what it was. So I think that had I known where I was going to end up, I probably would have picked a little bit at those different plates sooner so that I would be in a better position with what I'm getting now. In other words, every so often I would look at something and see a good price and go, no, I don't need that right now. And then now I'm either paying more than I should, or I'm working way too hard to find a good conditioned version of what I'm buying. So it's just one of those things. And I could go with individual toys and go, well, I should have got that. And you know, it happens. But I had no idea how much space this stuff takes up. I thought I knew, but I didn't know. I would have bought more storage bins right from the beginning. I would have bought the right type right from the beginning. I would have had a label maker in these tackle boxes right from the beginning for accessories, and would have gone in different directions for organizing things, because I think one of the most frustrating parts about my current collection is that I just mashed things together in storage bins because I had so little space, and to the point where I'm still not touching most of my collection because I have to have the shelf space cleared and dedicate entire days to the endeavor of unpacking them, which it's now the lighting's coming in. I have no excuses, so. Jones just started buying Motu Vintage, then Origins came out a couple years later. Now the bug bit hard and buying too much of everything. There you go. I think Origins is one of the worst gateway drugs in the world. Or best. Payne's Toy Sample says, if I had fought more, I would have had my Joe collection, including Flag, Motu, all playsets, tons of figures, Thundercats, including Cat Slayer. Yeah. One thing I probably would have done was skip about half of the beer that I drank from 2021 to 2022 and saved that money and bought an Eternia. You know, maybe they'll rerun it. I doubt it. Payne's Toy Sample says, "Damn my charitable heart and ex-wife." There you go. Evan Badger says, "I started collecting Galoob Battle Squads in 2015. If I knew prices would explode during and after COVID, I would have snatched up whole collections at cheaper prices before 2021. Prices were good." Johnny Sorton said, "I wish I knew to get a Blade Triceraton around 1990. Yeah, I get you on that one." Stephen S. says, "Back in the 90s, I had that BTAS Roby Dragster in my hands right off the shelf at Toys R Us and put it down thinking it would always be there. God damn it, Kenny." Yeah, I had that problem a lot with both physical media and certainly with toys. Because it's something where, I don't know, you just assume you can always get that, that Robin vehicle, the dragster, or freaking Deathstroke from Superpowers, or whatever. Like, you just name a toy, and you're like, I'll get it. And that's kind of like, not reverse FOMO, but it's like self-inflicted FOMO in reverse. And then every once in a while, there will be something that is way out of print. Like, it's like no one's really selling it anymore, and they just happen to have it at Big Bad. And I've learned that if something stays in stock for more than 4 or 5 days when it releases, it's probably going to be there for at least a week or two. So if there's something they have that is much older that I want, I tend to get that. Like, that's like how I got that Giant Man back there. I had him on a wish list for a while and decided right after he moved in here, I'm like, I better get him before he's not available anymore, else I'm going to kick myself. And then with other stuff that, like the Thor and Destroyer 2-pack and the comic accurate Hawkeye with the Cycle, I know those won't sell heavy enough that where they're going to be sold out. But I also knew those were things that could run out pretty quick relative to the part of me that puts things off. So I went ahead and just bought them because I was like, those are really nice sets. I really want the Destroyer. I really want the Hawkeye. And if I wake up one morning and decide to get them on a whim and they're not there, I'm going to be really pissed to have to pay second-hand price. And now that Motu Origins Vintage in version, what do you call that line? It's so confusing now. Is all Mattel Creations. Because I'm that guy, I actually ordered a He Skeletor off of eBay last week. I only paid $6 more than what I would have paid shipped. So it wasn't like a huge markup or anything, and I'm probably not even going to take them off the card. It's just to be able to say I've got all those exclusive figures. I don't know why. But again, if I knew then what I know now, maybe I wouldn't have gone as crazy after a Snake Mountain rebuild. Maybe I would have ordered different vintage collection stuff and looked at things a different way with Star Wars. It's easy to say woulda, shoulda, coulda. But I think the big ones are logistic. Would you guys agree with that? That it's less, I would get this toy at this time for this price, and more about not what's in the collection, but how to go about collecting. I really think that's where the big regrets and or things you wish you could correct come from. Would you guys agree with that? And I'll let you talk about that before I chime in on what exactly I mean there. It's Chad! Went from casual collecting only figures to focused on army building vehicles, then hoarding Slippery Slope. True story. True story. Payne started with Classified, and all the modern Joes, then Slippery Slope from there. There you go. Jones is like, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. I can stop whenever I want. Johnny Sorensen says, clearance or nothing for me on Hawkeye. 90 Nizy Oz smackers. Yeesh, that's expensive. Bill says, hoarding. I am not a hoarder. Really not a hoarder. Nope, no problem here. Payne's Toy Sample says, if I had a basement, I'd be in lots of trouble because that would be a full-size toy room. We are building a house with this in mind. So, Jones says, I don't have too many toys. Just not enough shelves. I think we all can relate to that. No one says, the first NECA movie Turtles is what got me back into collecting. Okay. Bill refuses to get He Skeletor. So did I. I saw the price. I said, screw it. I'll get it. Because what if he suddenly, like, goes way up in price? You know, I'll be like, I have one. He's unpackaged. You know. Joneser also passes, and Bill's laughing at me, I figured. Payne says, patience is a virtue. My mom used to always say that. And Bill says, you can't plan this shit. He's right, actually. She's like, y'all got any more of them cheap Hiss tanks? Yeah, the reissue ones. Oh, man. I have a vintage Hiss, and I have the reissued Hiss. I wanted to get more. And I said, nope, I've got a boxed one. I've got a great vintage one. I need to stop. But I wish that the classified Hiss tank was cheap now. Would love one of them. Very much. But again, know then what I know now. So as far as like missed opportunities, the Hiss tank is a big one. Because didn't know that I was going to get into classified as much as I did, or that I'd be getting the Dragonfly, a year later. And but you know what they say: he who dies with the most toys is dead. It's a true story. Bill fought back the evil horde and Joy Skeletor's crew. That's fair. Pay no attention to the cat slayer behind the curtain. Nah, I have not touched Thundercats. I don't like buying any of the Super 7 Ultimates lines in general. I pick at them. So as far as that goes, I have a Cliff Burton coming and a Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead coming. And the only other Super 7 stuff I have are those Napalm Death figures back there, which I lambasted in my review. They're not getting my money. If someone else gets the Thundercat license and does a good job with them, like Origins price-wise or Legends price-wise, I'd probably get into it and hope they did a Cat Slayer, but I'm not giving Super 7 that amount of money. There's no way. I like Thundercats. I didn't like it that much. Chad says, my collection took over an entire 3-car garage, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. There you go. You have 50 Hiss tanks? I mean, can you spare brother a Sky Striker? I have money. Just kidding. I'm only half kidding. If you actually can spare a Sky Striker, let's work something out. Goji Sharon says, I'm not buying the Hiss. I'm holding out for hers. Every Hiss begins with K. Alright, sorry. Couldn't help it. Payne's Toy Sample says there will be a retail style version without all the bells and whistles. I don't think that there will be. I hope there will be. I've mentioned that in the past, and I hope the same thing with Eternia. I hope that they do a rerun, like made to order, without the exclusive figures. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a good market for those. And the Hiss tanks with people with troop building, I think people would love that. But I don't think it's going to happen. Dun, 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 dun. Ian Sweeney says, I finally got to where I collect what I like without being worried if other people approve. Yeah, exactly. For example, one of my favorite figures of the last few years, Retro Collection Death Trooper. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're collecting for somebody else, Don't. Collect for you. This is my collection. It's not yours. I'll display it the way I want, and I'll organize it the way I want. I'll buy them at the prices I want. It's a very personal thing, and you should always treat it that way. For sure. The HasLab Striker? I need a Sky Striker, period, in that scale. So I'm not partial to the HasLab one. But if you got a good source on even a vintage one in decent shape, I'm good. The HasLab one, do I need a sealed one? Fuck no. But I want a Sky Striker because with the vehicles that I'm starting to amass, I really want one of them. It's not like a big rush move. I'm just kind of like, oh, eh. Hi, TJC. It's good to see you. Paynes is correct. Hasbro said they're going to make a stripped down classified for retail. I believe you. I'd love to know where you saw that. Was it a live stream or something? Because I would love to have proof of that. Because that's going to make me a happy dude. Largo's Lair says, instead of a cat's lair, the Thundercat just need one of those fuzzy cat tree things you put in your living room for them to play on. Maybe. You never know. Steven says, toys are like drugs to us, inject the venom. You're right. You're right. Phil said, if I actually had these, I'd have to rethink my entire room. Dude, you'd have to rethink your entire house. Okay? Jones just says, I like Thundercats, but I won't buy any. I like Ghostbusters. Ooh, better not. Those Marvel Legends are cool. Oh, man, not much better. And that's the thing. When it comes to Marvel Legends, I was cherry picking at first, and then I kind of got landslided with friends hooking me up on good deals or doubles or whatever. And then I started buying a bunch more, and now I'm back to cherry picking quite a bit. And it's still more than I should have. You know, when I actually put them all up on the shelf, I'm going to have to take a serious look and say, like, what do I really want out of these? Because there's only a handful of characters I can think of off the top of my head that need representation for me. And a large portion of those are X-Men. A small portion are Spider-Man related, small portion are Avengers related. That's about it, because Fantastic Four, covered. You know, as soon as I got that Galactus from Will, I was good. I got the rest of it. Spider-Man, I've got just about everything. I think I need a Black Cat, maybe a Silver Sable, you know. I'm still looking at getting a comic accurate Punisher other than the one that came with the motorcycle, but if that set goes down in price, I'll just repaint that one. And then like a handful of X-Men with a lot of the X-Men 97 line is going to fill in those. So I think Marvel Legends is probably going to have an endpoint for me sometime soon. I don't know that for certain, but we'll see. We will see. Brick says, yes, collect for yourself, and hopefully you surround yourself with awesome collectors who can engage in some fun, geeky, mutual appreciation, valor, stoked toys. Exactly. Ted is also here. Hello, sir. Paynes is building dioramas for his collection starting on Friday with Brick. That's awesome. It's awesome. Chad says, the only vintage OG Skytracker I have is on my wall. The rest are all the variants, but you can have the Hazard one if you want. Sure. I would love that. Let's talk. Let's talk turkey at a time not on the show. Really, I appreciate that. That'd be awesome. James Salzberg says, addicted to plastic is rough. At least drugs will eventually take you out, unless you're an Aerosmith or Keith Richards. Perhaps this is why Keith cannot be killed by conventional weaponry. Chad says, classified hiss. Yeah, they said it at the round table when they said O-rings are dead. Ooh, okay. Okay. Bill has sworn off Marvel Legends. Spider-Man Amazing Friends came out. I mean, that's, like I said before, when that came out, I was like, dude, if they'd have had that when I first started collecting, I might have stopped there. Payne says, X-Men and street-level heroes, only Marvel Legends, and even then still picky. Fair enough. Stephen S. says, they're really hitting us Gen Xers and Millennials with these classic IPs, picking us up by the woohoo and not letting go. True. And I don't think that's going to stop until the majority of us die off. Johnny Sorensen says, only found out today there's a new Superman cartoon show. Going to watch them tonight. Yes, it's kind of meant to be like a Fleischer-esque kind of a thing. I'd like to see it. But I'm not in a hurry. Like, I know where to go look at it, you know. Oh, so it's not Fleischer-esque. It's very anime-ish. Ew. 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 Not for me. Not for me. Not for me at all. So, knew then what I know now. Like I look over at my Ninja Turtles hat. When I bought my turtle van, the blimp was also on sale for like $28, maybe 25, and I probably should have gotten it at the time. I didn't, and now I look at it; it's still full price. I'm like, I don't want that for that price, man. The whole thing. But again, you could go through and decide like what. So for me, it's much more logistics, how I approach things, and doing things to make my life a little bit easier. For example, I would have been using the mailbox that we're using now from the beginning because they're very, very nice and they keep stuff for you without yelling and hollering. And I would have gotten a very different type of storage up here and really gone out of my way to store the toys much more purposefully. So that they'd all be organized by toy line by the time we got here. I felt kind of up against the wall, with the way things were going down, and I did not take the time to reorganize them before we got here, and I really wish I had. And I could be a lot more picky about the way that we're unpacking those as we go. But again, knew then, know now. But one of the coolest things about life is that you can learn from your mistakes and actually move forward. So, for example, what I'm most excited about getting everything depackaged and on the shelf is that when it does come time to pack these up and move them into a house, they'll already be organized. And we'll just put them in the bins they're supposed to be in. We're not going to mix and match anything unless we absolutely have to. And that will make putting them back on a shelf in a house a dream. A dream. So aside from the odd toy or maybe missing the odd deal, really it comes down to respecting my own time a bit more with this stuff is really the big thing. So I'll take a couple more comments and questions, and then I'm going to get ready for the Largo's Lair Infinite playlist featuring me. So we hope you'll join us for that. Johnny Sort says, Bill and his amazing friends, Motu Jones are swinging into action, Grindhead stomping down New York. More like Tokyo, but okay. It's fair. It's fair. Doom, 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 doom. Brick says, any part of you, me, interested in new IPs or non-IPs random toys that aren't tied to something nostalgic? Yes, I have Final Faction. I love them. I can't get enough of them. For them to be something new that I really, really want, it has to strike a certain nerve. I'll use Savage Crucible as the example in this case. Those are arguably some of the best articulated figures that are on the market today, relative to their price, which is higher than I'd like to pay. But I think it's a cool idea, and if I didn't already have a lot of fantasy stuff, I'd probably be more serious about picking some of those up. But they just don't fit in the collection. I would say Action Force scratches that itch in many ways for me. Not the fantasy part, but being like not really a nostalgia for me. Like Action Force is a name. I didn't grow up on Action Force. I grew up on G.I. Joe. So for me, that's a totally new IP, and I love what they're doing with it. So I'm already doing that. And I know that there's like the Animal Warriors line and a bunch of other lines that are doing great things. But generally speaking, I don't know what I'd be looking for at this point in a toy line that isn't nostalgia-based. Because the entire point of my collection is to both remind me of and augment my childhood, which I think a lot of us are into. Something's going to come along and blow me away. Because even like the bass player figures that I bought with, Motorhead and Metallica, there's nostalgia attached to those because they're Lemmy and Cliff. It's very hard to steer clear of that. I see what you're doing. James says, Salzburg says, yeah, not having stuff packed and organized has been a nightmare in selling down as well. I imagine. Is Magic considered toys? I would consider Magic a hobby in and of itself, and the supplies could be similar to toys. Catching it late, but we'll be there. Awesome. Yes. Only got 2 crucibles since you dug the lizard. Yeah, I got like the base lizard, and when he comes in, I still may not get it. It's a cool line. It's just, do I really want to start another line over? I don't. Ainsby says, if I knew then what I know now, I would have tried to collect all the Black Series figures from Bad Batch. I got as far as the base crew, then very limited Captain Rex happened, and you're out. I understand. Yeah. So, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom looks cool. If you live in the U.S., you buy some, don't want to pay more than a figure. Understood. Understood. Jimmy Salt with the super chat, thank you. Says, AWOC is what I wanted Thundercats to look like. There you go. And if they have AWOC figures that look like the actual Thundercats, I might dig it, and I might think about it and actually make it happen. But I am in no hurry for that. I would do Silverhawks before I did Thundercats. I had a lot of Silverhawks as a kid. Loved that toy line to death. To death.
Yeah, boy!
There it is. I don't know why it always takes a damn long. But in any case, I love the Silverhawks, and looking at the Silverhawks that are currently on the market, I'm like, nope. Nope. I would even take a repressing of the original line and just leave them on card, you know. Because I loved them. I loved them to death. I had like at least a dozen of them. They're the best.
Yeah, boy!
I gotta fix that. There's something going on with that. Hylian Dread says, missed out on Duplico for the 5th time. He was released on Target randomly and sold out 5 times. Fish to try to get up with him. Start looking on Walmart. That's where he's supposed to be exclusive. So, and I lucked out a couple weeks back and managed to snag one. Keep your eyes peeled. They are out there. They are out there. Johnny Torrance says, Silver Dorks is more like it. That's fair. So again, moral of the story is today, kids, there's no such thing as if I knew then what I know now. You know now what you know now. You can only move forward with knowledge you have. Because time travel doesn't exist, and that level of forethought doesn't exist. So don't beat yourself up for the things you didn't do. Take care of yourself now. Take care of your future, whether it's talking about collecting or anything else. For now, I'm Grindhead Jim, and I will see you over on the Infinite Playlist show at Largo's Lair. Link is at the top of the chat. Thank you guys very much. See you in just a little bit. And in the meantime, may all your toy grinds be merry, may your card backs be straight, and may you be able to find anything you're looking for at any given time at a price you feel is reasonable. No matter what it is. Take care, guys. We'll see you soon. Cheers.